In this video, I combine camping day 3 and the next time we visit the ranch.
1, 2.
All right, here we go. We got some, what is this?
What was it, sausage, hot dog?
Sausage and eggs, and then Dutch oven cornbread.
And it looked really good. He had it hanging on this little hanger thing here, and
Coals on top of the hot lid.
The coals on the lid, and it cooked really nice. We have had several batches just black, very black and brown burned cornbread.
We're learning.
I think we figured it out. All right. The sides look nice and brown, but not horribly burnt.
Feel. It's good. Oh my god, I did it finally. Oh, the bottom's perfect.
Good.
Holy cow.
Yay. We are doing our storage tent setup a little differently. They have it so you put the top part on last, which means you have to stand each one of these up, and you have to have a ladder, and there's like many people have to be able to do it. Instead, we have left 2 of the bottom rungs off and put that in, and then we add these bottoms on one at a time. We put the top on, then we put the bottoms. And then we'll do that side. So he's got the 3 set up on the front. So these guys are done. Then we got these guys to start on. And we're hoping we don't have to take anything else apart, but I think it'll be fine. Put the middle things on. Now we're gonna work on the other side.
There, you see my hand? See the reflection?
Oh my gosh! Oh, I don't know if it's showing it. I think it's going. Go away, you Hoosiers. We put the feet on right here. The whole thing is up, but we're having trouble staking it down. It's kind of difficult.
That stick could come out of it. Pull hard on. Let me see if I can get it over there.
He was having trouble getting the edge of the tarp over the peak and over the right side.
Alright, the problem is here. I gotta get that over the peak.
It's done! My side's done. I guess she's just gonna stay here.
Okay, but she'd been holding her tail up funny. I felt like I needed to check or something.
Kinda creepy, but it's pretty. So there they are. I think they've dug something already.
So it is really muddy here and it's foggy. We had a lot of rain. We are meeting today with the guy who's digging holes for the septic, or maybe the well. I'm not sure. And we're gonna ask him about what we should do to prepare the spots for our trailers, and if we have good places, and how soon we can have the septic and the well dog to tap into. George was there digging holes, and there was another guy who was testing the soil to see what type of soil is in each spot where they dug the holes, and which spot would be good for the percolation that the septic system would be using.
This is the spot where Mom wants to have her trailer, somewhere in there, and we'll have to level it. It's a little flatter. That is a locust tree, and that is a pile of the thorny rose things and the locust branches from these trees that we were trying to destroy. So we'll have to get that gone.
So I think that'll work out good for her and Dad. I'm just not so sure that mine is doable. We'll have to ask and figure that out because it's kind of down a hill. The first hole they dug was mostly red clay, which is really bad for the septic. It would be expensive. We're trying to avoid lagoon because that's the gross thing. We're thinking we could have the leach field closer to the house if the soil is good there, and maybe do a more expensive option to make the tank even maybe double the size as the state recommends, because apparently the state has recommendations that it will last you for like maybe 12 years and then leak, and then you got poo coming up and it's gross. And we're thinking do it right the first time so you don't have to get it replaced, and it'll be worth it in the long run without having, you know, poop apocalypse going on. I asked the two guys what they thought this was, and they're thinking it is hematite. That's what I've been wondering. It's very heavy. It's so much heavier than your brain thinks it is when you go to pick it up. It's not a meteor. I knew it wasn't that. But they're thinking hematite, which is iron ore, and that's kind of what I was thinking. And this one could have some iron sediment in it because it's a little heavier than it should be. That's what they said, maybe. It's pretty. The spot we think we might have to move the house to so that the walkout works the way we want it. This will make a couple things more doable and less expensive, like our wraparound porch, our backyard patio, and our walkout. The first hole had just too much dense red clay. The second hole had some rotting bedrock and it just wasn't good. And the third hole looked all right, except there was a band of clay in that one too. So it turns out we will either be using an engineered system, which is more expensive and has a chance of failing, and it's also kind of experimental, or we'll be using a lagoon. Gotta do what you gotta do. Thanks for watching. Don't fish in that pond.